Hello, dear friends. Here we are, redefining money, 21 days of empowerment. And this is based on the book Money by Emmanuel through Chico Xavier. In this beautiful series, we are immersing ourselves in new concepts about money in here, on the earth, in this incarnate life. And you're invited to join us as you buy this book at the Spiritist, the United States Spiritist Federation, spiritist.us. You can buy the book there, Money by Emmanuel through the medium Chico Xavier. On the back, you can have a glimpse of the picture of Emmanuel, Chico Xavier the medium, right? Chico Xavier is the greatest medium of the 20th century. He discarnated in 2002, and he's considered in Brazil the humanitarian of all times, the Brazilian of all times, and his books are now in many languages and conquering the world to share the good news of Christ Jesus wherever you are. And of all the 460 plus books that were psychographed by Chico, one of them is this one. As Emmanuel said in the preface of this book, you may be shocked when you get to know the title of the book, but deep inside you get to know that money is also from God. And yesterday we studied chapter 1, which is about money. And if it's not enough, chapter 2 today is about studying money. And it's not that you're going to be an accountant. It's not about being a financial analyst. It's for any and every one of us. Studying money. What is it all about, right? Before we continue sharing these beautiful teachings that shall change our lives, we're going to say hi to our beautiful community. Hello, friends from this beautiful global classroom, online classroom. It's beautiful to be here. Hello, Sunshine and Melissa. Hello, Jussara, Ceissa, Mônica, Daniel Castellani, right? Rihanna and Leonor Lea Severo. Hello, Constance. Flowers. Hello, Andrea. Thank you, friends, for joining us. You ready? The chapter is about studying money. And it says, Tuani Luciana, studying money. Let us openly ask that we can grasp and understand new things, okay? It is not authority that undermines the soul's elevation. It's abuse of power. It is not intelligence that distills intellectual poison. It is the evil with which we used to mobilize it. It is not the verbal treasure that opens wounds on those who hear us. It is the way in which we fling our sharp words. It's not beauty, the beauty of the form, that generates the gall of disappointment. It is vanity that leads us into imbalance. In the same way, it is not money that condemns us to the process of distress. It is the way we use money when we forget to facilitate the current progress through diligent action, through fraternity and devotion to goodness, since we must collaborate with the greatness of work and life. Gold with Jesus is like a healing balm on the patient's ulcer. It is a drop of milk for a helpless child. It is medicine for the patient. It is a blanket for the shivering person. It is aid in the home besieged by misfortune. It is assistance for the arms that beg for dignified activity. And it is shelter for animals and protection for nature. A safe in the miser's claws is rusty metal, which triggers hardship, but 1 cent in Jesus' service may become a promising seed for peace and happiness. Do not curse money as a passive instrument in your hands. Make it serve with you under Christ's inspiration, and all financial possibilities on your path will be valuable talent for cooperating with your efforts to build the kingdom of God. So for those who are asking us where you can buy this book, buy it please at the United States Spiritist Federation website, www.spiritist.us. Melissa kindly posted right here the link. Click on the link, Katya, please. Click on the link. And the book money is right there. It's very easy, very accessible. Hello, Erika. Hello, Angelita. Hello, Katya. Friends, you know, in neuroscience, let me share this with you. In neuroscience, there was a recent study last year showing to us that when we read a book, we can change neurobiological pathways. We change our pathways when we read a book. It's the first time that science proves to us that when we read a book, we can change the pathway. If it's common sense for you, well, science had no proof on the earth whatsoever. It makes sense to us, but it's the first time that science proves it to us. And what does that mean when they prove it? When science proves something, the scientific method is so rigid, it's so methodic, that when it's proved, it's a sign that it was peer-reviewed. And when it's replicated by other sciences, it's ever more valuable. And for us as a spiritists, we have that instruction that was received by Kardec, that the day science tells us something different, forget about these teachings and go with science. Why? Because science is a new religion? No, not at all. But science has a pathway in the material realm, and I'm talking about the material science, that is very methodic, is very rigid in itself, to tell us when facts are really something existent or not. So when we're reading this book, if we really open the book and study with the intention of acquiring new understanding, it's possible that by the end of this journey, we, as the soul, we have acquired new understanding that is changing the way we're vibrating, the way we're thinking, the way we're feeling, naturally, that is going to imprint in our perispiritual brain, and the perispiritual brain is the mode for the physical brain, which means that the physical brain is going to change its own, it's going to create, to say the least, new synapses. New synapses are connections between neurons, and when neurons connect, they communicate chemically and electrically. We have behaviors, attitudes being manifested. So in 2002, for the first time, neuroscience also showed to us that when we acquire new habits, we grow new neurons. But only Spiritism explains why. Because we, the soul, I mean, not even with the body, the soul that is to this body acquired a new thinking pattern, a new feeling pattern that is going to imprint its new vibratory pattern in the perispirit that is enveloping it. And this envelopment is going to imprint its new vibratory patterns like footprints in our physical constitution. You're going to feel different. You're going to think differently. You're going to say things differently. You're going to do things differently. And that's a rule of thumb. So when we put everything together, we only have reasons to celebrate. Oh yeah, celebrating life. These are wonderful news. News that we can get ourselves out of the shackles of many, many lives. Lives in which we were imprisoned by concepts that are not liberating. This book, Money, is really freeing. Why? Because it's revisiting concepts that we have cherished and cultivated wrongly for many lives, due to social pressure, due to the need of being loved and appreciated and approved by others. And then we created this attachment and this illusions that when we have money, we're better people. When we have social influence, we're more loved. All illusions. People don't actually love us when we have more money. They don't love us. They love what they get from us. And that's not us. Okay? Remember Jesus? People on the earth are still so childish, my friend, that they can praise you today and tomorrow they may forget that you ever existed. Look what they did to our master, the governor of the planet, Jesus. He entered Jerusalem, woo, the king of the hill. The next day he was imprisoned. And that's life. So we really need to revisit this concept here. Money. It's not by chance that Emmanuel is spending 2 chapters to revisit definitions and revisiting our associations regarding money. So that's why he's studying money and the elements that are connected to it. Okay, so Katya, it's wonderful that you got the book. For those who are entering, if you want to buy the book, and we would really recommend the book Money by Emmanuel through Chico Xavier, can be found through the United States Spiritist Federation, spiritist.us. If you go up the comments, Melissa has kindly posted the link. Hello, Carolina. Hello, Solange and Rudy. You're right. Rudy's saying it's the perfect Valentine's present. Even has a free heart on its cover. And you're right. I agree. Because it's liberating. It's never gonna tell people don't care about money. No, no, no. It's actually saying something quite peculiar. I don't think I've ever read something of this depth regarding money. It's actually the first time in the spiritualist literature. It's here and there and everywhere, but for the first time, all combined. Study money, and he says, with money, right? What comes within the package of money? Let's open money. Authority? Yeah, you have money, and then you have some form of authority. And he's going to say, well, authority is not a problem. The problem is abusing it. And you know, we often think that authority can be abused by only the police, presidents. But what about parents? How often in that position of authority we abuse it by spanking the child, by threatening the child, by creating fear onto the child? That's a form of abuse of power. Because you have authority over the child or over the teenager, and you are abusing it. Oh, but I have to do what I have to do. You know, it's not going to work that way. Time out, grounding. It's very artificial. We're not boosting the discernment of the spirit that is incarnating. So we need to talk. Spirit to spirit, heart to heart. Like Jesus taught us, Professor Euripides Barçanufo kindly shared with us, look at the spirit in the eye and say, you know, remember when you incarnated, you asked to be here. And you wanted to be here to help yourself and to help others. So what you're doing now has consequences. You know, because they hear others saying, they watch some cartoons, sometimes they say, I've heard many little kids saying this expression, stop it, stop it. And of course, we parents don't like to hear that, right? How do you stop them from, make them stop saying this? First, by not saying it, if you don't like it. And second, by asking them, do you want me to say stop it to you? No. So why you're saying that to me? I don't feel happy when you do it. I would love that you say, Mom, can you please stop? Mom, not now. Please. Kindly. Do you like when I am kind? Yes. So be kind, please. You see, it took longer than saying, grounded, go to your room. And they didn't learn anything. Right? No. This is punishment. And punishment is abuse of authority. Sincerely, positive parenting is the ultimate way. Positive parenting is saying no, but with kindness. And that's exactly what Emmanuel is teaching us. Okay? And actually on Facebook, there's a beautiful page titled Positive Parenting. They share lots of tips for parents and educators. And there are experts in the field nowadays. Positive parenting. Abuse of power as a teacher. Abuse of power as a boss. Abuse of power in any position over somebody else. If you are a religious leader, using that authority to create fear onto others, that's abuse of power. And we shall not fall in the traps, but we cannot also abuse that power. He's also saying, for example, intelligence is not a problem. It actually is no poison whatsoever. But if I use my intelligence, right, in the wrong way, because it's like a tool. We're intelligent beings. You and I are intelligent beings. We were created naturally like this. So it's so funny. I remember some people saying, but Vanessa, I'm so dumb. I'm not intelligent. I'm not smart. And you know, this is false modesty. Because nobody actually believes that they are like this. And if you do, you need therapy. That's not humbleness. That's not humility. That's either a feeling of false modesty, or worse, or equally bad, is, what is it? That I do not approve of myself. And when I do not approve of myself, I'm incurring in something against a major commandment in life, which is love God above all things. And loving God meaning loving yourself, because you're God's creature. How can I not appreciate myself? When I use my intelligence to manipulate people, when I use my intelligence to create a bomb, that's criminal. When I use my intelligence to create a plot against somebody in an obsessive way, I am what? Abusing my intelligence. We are also learning here that words, speaking, is a treasure. There are many people who nowadays are afraid of speaking and speaking in public. And it's not only because they're not capable, no, because sometimes in previous lives we abused it. And now we are afraid, or like, please don't bring me there because I'm not so sure I can do it right this time. So the problem is not words, but how we use them. How many lives have we misused it? The power of speaking. Because it is a power in itself. Beauty. Beauty is not a problem, but vanity is what leads us into imbalance. Look at Marilyn Monroe. And she recognized it. That it was actually the way she used her beauty, the way she dealt with those resources God granted her, that opened the doors for bad spiritual connections that led her to death. Unconscious suicide. She was not suicidal, but she was led. She was like, as Manuel Filomeno de Miranda, through Divaldo Franco, explains in the book Torments of Obsession. It's like spiritual murder. Discarnate spirits inflicting that death. But she opened the door. And she recognizes it. So in the same way, he says, money is not the cause of our distress. Money is neutral, he says. He says that money is a wonderful way to foster progress and to collaborate, to promote work, to foster new life. And he says something that is so poetic. Gold with Jesus is like healing, a healing balm. But before we go deeper into these beautiful conclusions and the therapeutic part of it, let's ask some therapeutic questions for us, shall we? He said, authority, intelligence, beauty, and words, speaking. 4 things. Before he mentioned anything about money, he talked to us about these other tools. Okay? 4 of them. Authority, intelligence, beauty, and what we just said, speaking, using the power, the verbal power, using words, speaking. Of these 4, doing a self-analysis. Which of these four do you think you have the greatest issues regarding the misuse of it? Which of the four? Think for yourself. I'm thinking for myself too. Which one? You don't need to tell me. You can, but you don't need to. Is it the verbal? Do you think if in this life I'm misusing it, imagine in previous lives? Is it intelligence? Is it beauty? Is it authority? What is it? It's very important that we ask, because Emmanuel is not only teaching us about using money, but using all the resources and the talents that God has granted us in this reincarnation, so we can multiply without misusing or abusing it, and always promoting the general good. Right? Hello, Nelissa and Daniel Castellani. Sunshine is sharing with us something. Oh, you try to find the Marilyn Monroe at Cardiac Radio. Sunshine, I'm so sorry. I will find out for you later as soon as we're done, and I'll send it to you. But if you type in Marilyn Monroe at cardiacradio.com, we have a search bar. I will send the link to you, okay? Right now, I can't, but I will. So, it's a very beautiful interview. I asked Daniel Assisi from California to help us break down the message by Humberto de Campos in his interview, which was psychographed by Chico Xavier, and we published in the Spiritist magazine as well. And I think it's issue 2. If you go to thespiritismagazine.com, in the archive tab, you're going to find the issues, the PDFs as well. You can order the hard copy, beautiful magazine, and you can also get the app in your cell phone, tablet, etc. You did it. That's great. Thank you, Sunshine. Now, back to money. Now he's saying money. We need it. Of all lives, this is the one we're going to learn once and for all how to look at money and say, wow, you're pretty. I'm not afraid about you. I know how to use you. Come with me. Money. Yeah. Money, money, money. Gold with Jesus is like a healing balm on the patient's ulcer. It is a drop of milk for a helpless child. And he's gonna go on and on telling us that money, gold, is solution for the problems of the material world. And also for the advancement of our world. But money in the hand, so he compares money when it's used thinking of all the teachings we have received of the good news. When he says gold with Jesus, meaning gold being used with Christ consciousness versus money in the hands of a greedy person, a miser. And he says here, safe. A safe in miser's clause is rusty metal. It's useless. What do you do with a rusty metal? It's even dangerous. Because if you cut yourself, you can get tetanus and etc., right? Which provokes hardship. But 1 cent in Jesus' service may become a promising seed for peace and happiness. And you know, it's interesting because when we hear 1 cent in Jesus' service and we think it's only in the Spiritist centers in the church. No. It's everywhere. And how should we deal with this feeling? This feeling. I have this money now. What do I do with it? Observe yourself. I know somebody, they have children, and you know, children like, right? I see Virginia does the same. She likes drinking out of our cups because we're mom and dad, and eating what we're eating. But I know this person that if the child of this person tries to drink of the cup, tries to eat of the sandwich, like a bite, this person is so upset. But look, the sandwich is not yours alone. Why are we feeling entitled to something and the world is not? Oh, but it's mine. What is ours? That's a good question. Is it written down? Vanessa, Andrea, Patricia, Jesus. Is there anywhere, in any place, and the people who are in the dollar bills are not even the owners of the bills? We wish, eh? No, but they were not. They are not. The only one is the Queen of the United Kingdom. But you know, it's beyond just now. The sandwich, the water, your clothes, they're not yours. Actually, you're buying somebody else's clothes, like Michael Kors. It's Michael Kors, and then you buy and use his name, and then you think it's beautiful. But great advertisement for Michael Kors. But seriously, whose is anything? That's detachment. For example, I have a bottle of water, okay? Let's say this in parts of the world is more than money. Like, you don't need to go elsewhere. Go to DC, Washington, DC. There is a Franklin Square Park where the homeless receive the food. Of all things, the thing that they need the most and they request is water. And you're like, water? Of course water. More than food, they want water. Think about it. How precious it is. And imagine if I have this and I think this is mine. You know, like the movie Lord of the Rings, that little deformed creature, like precious. That's how we probably look like when we're attached to things. Let's do an exercise, okay? Because God is so good, and I have a song for you. That is actually a child's song I learned. It's from Christian movement in the United States. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. He's so good to me. God is so good to me. God is so good to me. God is so good to me. He's so good to me. Thank you, my friends. But I'm just preparing you and I for the exercise that may be a little tricky, very challenging, because we are vibratory beings. Our vibrational tone changes according to our thoughts and feelings. Yeah, words and actions, but begins in feelings and thoughts. Think about when you're feeling attached. And in the book Heaven and Hell by Kardec, he explains to us, in the first part of the book, we need to read all those books, that depending on our central desire, a concept that we're going to repeat in the book Action and Reaction by Andrea Lewis, depending on that, we're going to create certain stronger bonds between the perispiritual and the physical body. And then it's going to be more difficult for discarnation. And those bonds, if they're too strong, it's going to be hard to discarnate. Imagine now, as vibratory beings, how we actually look like when we're feeling like mine. If I express physically, I'll look horrible. Now imagine spiritually. The density of my fluids produced when I am attached. It's horrible. It's disgusting. It's yucky, as children say. Think about this. When we abuse power, how does it look like vibratory being? If we could draw, if we were artists, but we are artists in our minds. Thank God. The department of imagination is wild. I may not be able to express it by using coloring pencil or by using brushes, but in my mind, the painting is beautiful. Think about this. You're a beautiful light of God. Like the Spirits told Kardec, and it's published in the Spirits book. We're like this flame, divine flame. Now think about this beautiful flame. Now think about when this flame, which is us, the soul, connected to this body through the envelopment of the spiritual body, the perispirit. Think about now when you're feeling like this, mine. How does the flame look like? Forget about the physical body, because we can disguise here. We can look nice and cute and be the worst. But think about you, how you feel, how those feelings are changing our vibratory emissions, what Emmanuel said in the book Thought and Life, the mental reflexes, and making us feel denser, magnetically attracting other minds and fluids that are dense, and how we actually look like. And now recall, if you have watched the movie Lord of the Rings, that deformed being, precious. It's so hard to look at that one. But he's so attached to the material things. And that movie, in a way, portrays for me how we potentially look like, to say the least, when we are attached to material things. We don't look pretty. And it's not vanity. We're not worried about being looking pretty. No. It's about being a dignified and noble co-creator of God on the earth. Right? Right. Because I'm a child of God. You're a child of God. And we are beautiful flames. But how many lives have we been using money and keeping it instead of sharing and becoming a promising seed for peace and happiness? 1 cent. Oof, how many cents do you have? So you have a lot of seeds. If you have more than 1 cent today in your purse, you have lots of promising seeds for peace and happiness. Yes, it is. This is Emmanuel's revelation for us. These are true revelations. No wonder Kardec, in the Gospel According to Spiritism, he has a chapter titled The Third Revelation. Because the first revelation on the laws of God on the earth were Moses' 10 Commandments. The 10 Commandments, many spirits know nothing about it or know very little, but they are the foundation of the understanding of the divine justice in the universe and displayed on the earth through Moses, his mediumistic abilities, right? Now, the second revelation, Jesus. It's God revealing to us the laws of life through Jesus. The third revelation is the promised consoler. It's the Spiritist ideas. The Spiritist ideas are not summed up only under the title Spiritism, but anything that is correlated and similar in all, as Kardec said. We're not reinventing the wheel. We're not telling anything new. We're just compiling in a different way, but in a very educational way, like never seen before in any other place, and that's true. Okay? So, here we have Emmanuel saying, do not curse money. You see how he's ending each and every chapter? By giving directives. He's saying, he's wrapping up this study of money by saying, do not curse money. Are you conflicted with money, my friend? You're still conflicted. Take a dollar bill or a bill of your money and make peace with it and say, you know, this life I'm going to learn it once and for all. Take a credit card and say, look, I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of using you and using your help. And he says, do not curse it, because it's a passive instrument in your hands. It's like hitting a computer. It's not the computer's problem. It's the user. It's the user's fault. We don't understand. And he says, make money serve with you. What a beautiful directive. Make money serve with you. Inspired by Christ. And all financial possibilities on your path will be valuable talent for cooperating with your efforts to build the kingdom of God. So money is a companion. We need it. We shall use it, but not abuse it, beginning with verbal insults to money. Not because money has feelings, but because it doesn't make any sense. Make money serve you under Christ's inspiration. You know how we do it? Yeah, Mentor Joseph, one day he taught me. He said, Vanessa, it's like when you get the money and you say, God, I know you're lending this to me temporarily, and I'm going to distribute this to achieve progress in all the lives that I come about, that I come to encounter, that I come to know. Nothing is ours. If I discarnate now, everything is going to stay. And you know, contemplating death at least once a day. I remember when we were leaving our home in Virginia to come here to Orlando for these spiritist activities. And I remember looking at the house with this feeling, because putting everything together, because I like to come back and have everything in order. And then I looked and said, you know, if we discarnate before we come, at least people are going to enter this house and say, wow, at least it's clean and it's organized, so it's easy to find stuff and dispose of everything. Seriously, because it's not ours, it's going to stay. It's an exercise of detachment. So, do you have any object or any money or material object that you owe, that you feel like I can't be without it besides your cell phone? Because, you know, let's not talk about our attachment to cell phones. That's another story for another day. But for now, think about, do you have anything? Revisit. Let's go back and revisit, friends. And let's look at it like Emmanuel is telling us. Make it serve with you. So do not put it in a drawer. Anything, because any little object you have has to be disposed when you're not on the earth any longer. Whether pencil or a building, it doesn't matter. We need to dispose of it when we discarnate. Okay? So that's the exercise for us in this day. As Melissa is saying, money is energy. Make money serve you. She's reminding us. And you're right, Rihanna. These books, they don't come to life by chance. They came to help us with myths we have been cultivating for lives. And we've been imprisoned in those myths. Right? Right, Andrea? Yes. And you think the same, Sunshine, when you leave your house? And that's a good exercise. Right? And Andrea is saying, everything that I lost in the past, I have again. And we may not have it tomorrow, because when we go back to the spiritual realm, we don't have it. So Tanya is also here with us. Welcome, Tanya. So what is the exercise for us today? First, the exercise of visualizing ourselves, the emotions we have regarding the use of these talents, intelligence and authority, beauty, speaking abilities, words, money. And looking at money and call it to serve us. Otherwise, like the little guy from the Lord of the Rings movie, Precious, will look that ugly. You don't need to watch the movie if you haven't. Just Google Lord of the Rings, Precious. You're going to see the face. I'm telling you, it's scary. And it's a good reference for us when we feel attached to something. Just to imagine we look that ugly. And this is not judgmental. But if we look like that, we'll be in trouble. We'll be in trouble. Who comes to see us? Not very good spirits. Because, you know, we attract what we emit. If we're emitting that, we'll be in trouble. So we better run. Run now. Run for your life. And then Emmanuel wraps up with a beautiful tip. Oh, Smigo, right, Daniel? My precious. He says precious, precious, my precious. Smigo. Thank you, Daniel. The exercise is revisit. If you have anything you're truly attached, be careful. Be careful. Revisit it. And go read also. Let's go, all of us, and read. We have a day to read chapter 2 of the book Heaven and Hell by Kardec. He talks about this connection between perispirit and body, and how the bonds may be too strong and creating difficulties if we're too materialistic. If we are really that attached, we are going to have problems discarnating. Okay? All right. And Lea Severo is saying, chapter 16, it's not possible to serve both God and Mammon in the Gospel according to Spiritism. In the Heaven and Hell, it's in the first part. In the Gospel according to Spiritism, Leah is reminding us, chapter 16. Thank you so much. And shall we finish with this beautiful affirmation? Make money serve with you under Christ's inspiration, and all financial possibilities on your path will be valuable talent for cooperating with your efforts to build the kingdom of God. Spiritism does not tell you not to have money. Do you think you're going to be more appreciated by life if you're like Chico Xavier and you're born with nothing? We have this atavism, this myth. Somebody's ugly and problematic and they don't have money. Like, oh, they're missionaries. But if you're beautiful, if you have money, and if you have authority, and everything, the whole 9 yards of the talents, people look at you like, you're never a missionary. Because missionaries have to come in a cover of difficult situations. Not necessarily, my friend. There are many missionaries who are beautiful, who are wealthy, who are intelligent, who have authority, and who have money. Yeah? Yeah, and we have lots of examples in the world. And Christ, he was not like a poor me type of person. And that's also one of the reasons why they crucified him. He was handsome. He was also very healthy. He didn't have, apparently, financial conditions, but he had the social impact that was amazing. And that bothered them a lot. His composure in life, that impact was threatening the authorities of the time. So they got rid of his body, but not of him. He's stronger than ever, more beautiful than ever, more loving than ever. He loves us. He's inspiring us. He says if we are receiving a shower of his inspiration, and now we're looking at money and saying, money, shall we? Shall we work together? Let's work together. This is our homework, and we're going to continue this study in 23 hours from now, because it's almost midnight Eastern Standard Time. And what we're going to do, we're going to study a chapter titled Studying Wealth. And it begins, not only is the reach of the parable a major debtor to life, but the coined wealth is sometimes simple imprisonment. Da-da-da-da. What does he mean? I don't know. We'll see later. For now, homework. Make money, serve with you under Christ's inspirations, and all possibilities, financial possibilities, are opening up so we can manifest the kingdom of God on the earth. These are Spiritist teachings, believe it or not. And rejoice, because today we're freer than yesterday. Empowerment.